absolute first thing that you need to do after you've been sitting down is you need to find a headset. Okay, because you need to initiate some kind of contact with air traffic control, because I want to really emphasize this, that without contact with air traffic control and without them finding someone that can help to guide you down, this is going to be impossible. Down on the center pedestal.
He's known as the mentor pilot. Petter Hornfeldt began flying when he was just 15 years old and has 10,000 hours of flight experience. He's gained a huge social media following by sharing instructional videos on flying, including how to land a plane in an emergency without any flying experience.
And Petter joins us live this morning to tell us more. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Lauren. How are you?
We're doing wonderful.
Great.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I went on a flight last week. They let my son into the cockpit to see all, everything in there. I'm looking at it thinking, like, this just looks so overwhelming. So part of the reason why you're doing these instructional videos, from what I understand, is to reassure nervous flyers, not necessarily that you're going to go and land a plane, but to reassure people.
No, that's absolutely right. That's how I started it. I'm an instructor pilot, and I've been for the last 15 years or so. And I recognized that about 30% of the population were really, really nervous to some extent. So I thought, what can I do to help reassure people about what the industry is doing and how things actually work.
But on the same psychological note, I think we've all seen that movie where some random guy has to jump into the cockpit, and you always wonder, why? I wonder if I could do that. What would I do? Obviously not American Airlines, but how hard is it? Is it as complicated as it looks?
Yeah, it's pretty complicated.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for joining us.
Don't try it, Larry.
But that's the thing. The reason I did that video was to show that there is some kind of logic to the madness. That there are separate steps that you can take, and providing that you have someone that can explain those steps to you, the autopilot is, in most modern airlines, like the 737 that I fly, capable of landing this aircraft itself without you having to actually have any stick and rudder skills. But you do need to know which steps to do when in order for that to be possible.
I had a question about, we're seeing some of these near misses at airports across the country, and it seems like it's happening at a more rapid pace, especially over the last year or so. What are your concerns about it, and do you believe it's one thing that's causing this, or is it just a multitude of factors coming together?
So I am not 100% sure that this actually is an increase. It might just be that you guys are focusing more on it, and because of that, it feels like there's more and more happening. But of course, any trend that the FAA or the NTSB can see, they're going to look into, and they are looking into very carefully. And I think what they're really focusing their efforts on now is looking at air traffic control, because most of these incidents that you have seen during the last few months have been related to for example, runway incursions where pilots have misunderstood clearances from air traffic control and have entered active runway. So there's definitely something that can be done there.
I think one thing that really bothers people is turbulence. What can you tell us about what we need to know that might make us feel better about turbulence?
Yeah, so the one thing that you need to know about turbulence is that it's actually not as dangerous. It's not dangerous at all when it comes to the aircraft structure. The aircraft itself is built to take much, much more turbulence than you will likely ever come even close to in an aircraft. What is really important is that obviously you have your seatbelt fastened when you're sitting down and you're not using it. Even if it's not during takeoff and landing, just have that seatbelt on, because when people get hurt by turbulence, it's often because either they haven't got the seatbelts on, so they fall, or maybe the flight attendant spills some drink on them, but it's not the aircraft itself that is breaking or that it's falling out of the sky. That just doesn't happen. What I tend to tell people is just think of it as you being in a boat on a bumpy river. It's kind of the same. Like the boat in itself will be floating, but it will be bumping around a little bit, and that's essentially what the aircraft is doing as well.
Interesting. You can check out more at mentorpilot.com. You can also follow Petter on social media and check out his YouTube page. Petter, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.